I use Evernote first as a checklist. So I use the same templated checklist for every single episode. So you can see here, I've got an episode intro with an episode number. I recorded all those in advance. And then I can go on out to the episode description, actual episode. And so I don't create everything in Evernote, but this is my checklist. I use other tools like Canva, GarageBand, Beacon.by to create my PDFs. But I'm just going to walk you through each one of these elements very quickly, and then I'll show you what they look like because I keep them all in one Evernote note. So first you can see the title of my episode right here, and then the number and then the title right there. And I have tagged it podcast, take permission, and template. I don't need template, take that off. So podcast and take permission. Oops, right here. And you can see here, each one of these is a checkbox. So first I have to do the intro with episode number. So take permission podcast, episode 005. I recorded a bunch of those in advance, up to number 50, I think. So it's cut and paste those each week. Episode description, that goes down here in a sort of spreadsheet I've created inside of here. And that's where I talk about, sort of prep the episode, what I'm going to talk about. Then I record the actual episode, and I'll put all my notes for the episode in here. This week I actually happened to use Post-it notes, and I just read through the Post-it notes. And then I do a video recording. Sometimes I didn't do one this week, so that's why that's not checked. Then I mix the audio. I use GarageBand or Audacity for that. I have to mix the video and add that to YouTube. Instagram images. I'm going to show you these. I try to make at least three Instagram images. So here's one right there. And there's a couple more down here. There's another one right there. And there's another one right there. Oh, and one more right there. So I make those using Canva, canva.com. So I have the three Instagram images, and then I make the guide. So every week I try to have a guide for my podcasts. So this is the guide for this week, how to start and run a mastermind, or how to start a successful mastermind. And then here's the guide, and here's an image for the cover. So you can see what that looks like here. Here we go. All right. And so I create the PDF guide. I use beacon.by to do that. And see, here we are. Guide cover. I like to use Canva to make my guide cover, and I find it to be a little bit more conducive to being able to customize that. So I use Canva to make the guide cover. Then I make the guide lead boxes. So I have to go into lead pages and make the lead box for that. And the reason I put lead boxes is I will make one lead box like this. Right here's a lead box. But I'll also do an A/B version so I can test which one's performing better. So I'll just change the wording right there, and I'll go back and figure out which one's performing better. Also put a link to my lead boxes right here, so I can jump to that. So that's how I make more than one lead box. I have to make a 301 redirect in my platform that I use, Rainmaker. So when you go to takepermission.com/show005, that's a 301 redirect. It goes to another page. But I have to make that, and I have to add the image from the episode. And the image for the episode is a square image, which is the same as the Instagram image. So that's why I have to make this first. Then I make a new podcast episode page on my platform. Then I have to add the post category. I have to make sure I use the right sidebar. I have to go down and change the meta and the SEO and the social share information for each episode. I have to insert the player. I have to add the episode square image to that post as well. Then I have to add a guide to my library. I have a whole guides library at takepermission.com/free guides. And I add that there. Let me show you what that looks like real quick. Here's what that looks like. So you can see there's my guides library. You can see all the guides I've made. And so I have to add it there as well. And then I have a giveaway rectangular image. That is this, which is what I put inside of my podcast post. This one right here, how to start a life-changing mastermind. Click here. Right, so that'll be in the podcast post, which I'll show you at the end here. And then I usually try to do a Facebook Live video about the topic that specific week. So those are all the steps to the podcast episode, which eventually comes out and looks like. Let's go here. This is what it ends up looking like. As an individual post. There we go. So you've got the sidebar, you've got the player, you've got that image for the opt-in, which you click on, you get a lead box, you get the notes, more notes, another box, click on, feedback. Then I need to make sure I copy and paste that code. That's how people can leave feedback, and I've categorized it. And there we go. So when you go to the podcast page now, as you'll see here, you can see these are their individual podcast episodes, and each have a different image for each one. So that is how I use Evernote to keep track of all the creation of my podcast episodes. If you have any other questions, reach out to me, Andy@takepermission.com.